your voice in the workplace is an art that's difficult to master because there's a fine line between being assertive and being aggressive. And the distinction is not always clear when you're a woman in charge.
Ow.
Well, an article on bossedup.org offers guidelines on how to make yourself heard without coming off too harsh. But ladies, why do we feel like we have to be careful with our office attitudes, but men don't?
Right.
Ever? Do you think that they have the same, like, you know, here are some guidelines on how you as a man cannot come across aggressive?
Because we're just now getting accustomed to having a lot of women in the office, and more importantly, they're not secretaries or assistants. Now they're actually CEOs, they're bosses, they're vice presidents, and there's a certain type of way. And because you haven't seen a lot of women, I mean, it's just till recently, it looks different. And people feel uncomfortable, but they just got to get used to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's nothing wrong. Like when I was starting off in corporate America, you know, people would make you feel bad for asking questions. And I'm like, if you don't know, ask the question.
Right. Yeah.
Don't make me, you know, like, you don't know that? No. If they get smart with me, I get smart back with them. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn, you have to develop to build yourself up. Understand, if you don't understand something, ask the question. Because when you make the mistake, the first thing they're going to do is say, you don't know. And then they're going to say it's because you're a woman. That's why you have to ask the question.
I love to use the phrase, pardon my ignorance. Like, I love, because it doesn't make me feel stupid. It disarms the situation, and it doesn't make me feel, looks like, hi, I'm dumb and I just don't know, but pardon my ignorance. So explain how this works. And it works.
Definitely.
Yes. I remember I had this opportunity to produce this holiday special for Style Network, a network that used to be on when you guys used to watch How Do I Look? Okay, so I produced it, and I remember I was younger in my years, and it was my first time producing something. So I had a lot of people that were head of, like, the casting department, head of the set design, head of my script, everything. And I had notes on all of it, but I was afraid to say something because then I'm judging your work, and you've been in this company for way longer than me, and you're older than me. So for all these reasons, I didn't nitpick things. So when the holiday special was done, it was the most terrible, most cringy. The color was all off. It looked cheap. I said things that I would never normally say. And the rolling credit, first thing up, was executive produced by Jeannie Mai. I have to tell you, I've never forgotten that since. And to that, I accredit today everything of my brands. I am very bold about being straight up about, like, no, that packaging looks wrong. I can't approve this fabric. Whatever it may be. It's your name on it. And people actually respect you more. I've noticed this now. People respect you if you're firm. I don't want to say, pardon my ignorance. I don't want to say that. I want to be like, you know what? I see a better idea for this. Let's try this. And I know that if you're on my team and we're doing it for the best vision of getting paid, doing another one, or whatever it may be, then you shouldn't be bothered by my notes, because then that's about you. That's not about me.
Right.
My
but
favorite
just
quote
those
is,
notes will make people feel like you're aggressive.
Or who the hell does she think she is?
I have to not care about that anymore. Now it's like, I got to do it because if your name is on it, you got to be firm about it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Garcelle, as a mother, you know, are you viewed as being aggressive, like, especially when it comes to, you know, your sons at their schools? Like, do people, like, you know, the teachers or the principals act like they know everything?
No, I don't think aggressive because I try to disarm people right from the get-go, right? I come at you in a different way because I know that we're labeled. I know if a woman comes up and she's really strong, it's like, oh, she's aggressive or she's nasty. So I try to come in at a different way, but it's interesting because my boys can say the same thing, but if I said the same thing, it would be seen differently.
Right. Or what about their father?
Or their father, exactly. And I think that's what we got to keep, you know, pressing upon, that it's okay for us to say how we feel as long as we're not seen just because we say something, we're being, you know, we're troublemakers.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I agree with you, Jeannie, I don't think we should have to change our tone. You know, like, if my voice gets a little bit deeper, because I'm like, hey, I don't understand this. You know, I shouldn't have to sound like a man to be treated fairly like a man. I should be able to sound like me. But it's up to us as women to say, and that's why they always say women should support women. If I really think about it now, especially in these workplaces, it's like that's why that term came to be, because you need someone to say, you know, no, she's not being a bitch.
Right. To
this
have
is
your back.
a real
Exactly.
question. That's where that comes from. So definitely, I believe in that. And we're working on it.
Madonna says this quote, "You will never get what you don't ask for."
That's right. Closed mouths don't get fed.
I just
Or
love
even
that.
better, Jay-Z said, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
Yes.
And I used to have conversations with Jeannie about business, and
Yes.
she would say, well, what was in your deal?
Yeah.
Well, what did you negotiate?
Yeah, you can't
Did you read the
complain.
contract?
Good.
And I would say, no, I didn't know. And she said, well, then you can't complain.
Yeah.
And these are the facts.
Yeah.
Sadly, especially for women that want to be in corporate America or who want to be in the entertainment business,
Right.
for sure.
Oh, I always have to check I always go, I have a saying, it's like, if you don't act like a star, they won't treat you like one.
Yes.
So it's not about being a diva.
Right.
No, you have to
It's
hold
like-
yourself to a certain standard.
If you don't
Exactly.
act like a leader, they won't
Yes.
treat you like a leader. Because the thing is, like what you said, when something happens, they're going to blame you because you
It's
the leader.
your name.
Yes,
You know,
it's
they're
your
going to
name,
blame
it's
you
your
because
face,
you the
it's your
star.
brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you ask the questions, you know.